Morning, guys. It is day 41 of Flippin Live, and it is Saturday morning, June 13th, 2020. Michael is here, and today we're going to open it up to questions, Q&A. So let's get the show started.
Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live. We're gonna strive, we're here to learn and gonna earn. Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, we're flippin' live.
Good morning, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, resellers, non-resellers. Okay. Appreciate you guys showing up here on a Saturday. Can't believe it's day 41 of Flippin' Live, which is awesome. Hopefully you guys are having a good Saturday. If you want, Michael, you can ask the question. I see we have 6 people watching. This is Q&A today. This is getting involved with the chat, engaging each other, asking questions in regards to reselling. Aloha, Brenda. If you found a good textbook deal, but you saw that the customer rating for it is low, purchase it. Well, you mean like the customer rating on Amazon? As long as people are buying it, I would definitely, as long as people are buying it on Amazon, as long as it's a profitable book, I would definitely buy it to flip it. I don't think it would matter as long as it shows a history of sales. Yeah, that's what I would think. So, if the rating of the book, if it has a bad rating, but yet you look at the last 3 months or a year of sales and it's selling consistently, especially during back to school times, then yeah, I would definitely sell it or buy it to flip it for sure. Because who cares about the rating as long as people are buying it? And sometimes, maybe the people don't like the book, but it's required reading in the class that they're taking, so you might as well just flip it. That's my 2 cents of that. Yeah, 1 star. Oh, well, I don't know. It has a sales rank of 750,000. That all depends, right? Because maybe the rank is good. What's the sales history look like? Are there other FBA sellers on there? How many feedback ratings does it have? Does it have a bunch and it still has 1 star? Just depends on the what do you call it? On all that information, I guess I would say. 1 star. If it's got a bunch of ratings and it's still 1 star, then that's pretty bad. But if it's selling, then why not, right? If you can get it for a good price. So what was on my mind this morning is I woke up to a couple of messages through Facebook. Right now I'm running 2 ads. One ad is for my upcoming sale in less than a week on the 19th and 20th. So I have an ad running. $100 is my total that I'm going to spend on the ad. And it's a video ad, just, targeting book readers, music lovers, that kind of thing. Vinyl record lovers, DVD people who like books. And that is set to run until basically like 11 o'clock or midnight on Friday, on the 19th. So I have that running, and then I have my donation ad running as well. So I received a message from someone who I had received a message from earlier, back on June 5th, so I just happened to get these two messages yesterday. So one was anyway, two messages about donating books, and it just brought up the whole thing about anyway. So they said, where do these books go? Who profits from them? Right? Well, I mean, they go they go to me, but they go to my business, right? Like I say in the ad, and clearly we profit from them. So it's always, so there's that. And then the other one was, so I donate books to you and you sell them, and then you turn around and sell them. And both of them are playing into this idea or the vein of oh, sorry. So Michael says 8 sellers, one total rating, sells once every 3 to 4 months. Oh, it doesn't sell very often. So yeah, I mean, it depends on the other sellers too. Are they FBA, merchant fulfilled? Yeah, it doesn't sell very often, so maybe not. But so these both of these comments are basically, well, like, where do the books go? Why, so you just take the books and sell them? And it blows my mind that people think that that's somehow a bad thing. And also, if you want to just donate your books to a thrift store, why don't you just donate your books to a thrift store? I mean, that's how I responded to the other woman, who said, so you, I want to read it exactly what it says. So you get donated books and then sell them? Yeah. Who on the planet gets a donated book and then doesn't sell them, right? I mean, unless it's even libraries sell them. Even libraries sell the books. Even libraries put them on their shelves, and then after they're done with them, could be years, decades, whatever, they turn around and guess what? Unless it's completely destroyed, they sell it in a sale. Or they get donated books and they have too many and they can't put them out on their actual bookshelves, and so they sell them in the little store that they have, or at a library book sale, right? When you donate your books to a thrift store, guess what they do with them? They sell them and they profit off of them. So you guys can maybe shed some light on this, but as resellers, um, it's just like blows my mind how people are somehow offended or think it's weird that they would donate books to a bookseller like myself, who sells books to people to read, and then would as if that's like a weird equation, or that's not right to be doing that, when that's exactly what thrift stores do. Thrift stores, they get stuff for free all the time, for free, and they turn around and profit off of it. Oh, they're a nonprofit. Well, so what? They're still profiting. Goodwill has a CEO who makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. The managers there make, well, I don't know what the managers make. It's probably not that much, but they make money. The employees make money. I'm not saying they make a lot of money, but they're making money. The company is profiting, regardless of it being a nonprofit. And a lot of those books end up in resellers' hands anyway, who then turn around and profit off of them, just like Goodwill does. So, or any thrift store, whether it's a mom and pop, whether it's a big chain like Goodwill or like a Salvation Army or whatever it may be. It's just like people feel somehow better just because they're able to donate to a thrift store versus, I don't know, someone like me who's does the same exact thing. That the end result is the same, where the books end up in a reader's hands who will read the book, right? Which is the point. I get that question all the time, and I tell them that I help prevent books from ending up in landfills and they end up in others' hands. I also tell them that I save them the hustle of taking the books over there as I come over and take them all. Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, some will be resold to cover our operating costs. The rest will be donated to prevent their destruction. Yeah, exactly. So it's just, and why bother? Why bother even leaving a comment like, so you get books donated to you and then sell them? Like, why don't you just donate to a thrift store? There's plenty of thrift stores, especially where I live. Anyway, it just really like it doesn't happen that often where I get comments like that, but it does happen frequently enough, and I just woke up to those comments, and it's just so strange to me. The majority of people that bother contacting me, messaging me through that ad are saying essentially they essentially are thankful that that I will take their book donations. I mean, I just picked up books on Thursday, a bag of books, and I ended up that three of them here, these three, I can actually sell on Amazon or FBA. The rest were, they're all, the majority of them were fiction, hardcover fiction books. But the person, had me pick them up off their front porch. I didn't even meet the person. Um, but most people, they're so happy that I am taking the books off their hands. They're thanking me for giving me books for free. And then there's just some people who get really weird about it. But anyway, all right, guys. So this is Q&A. So a lot of you are being very quiet. I'm not going to have much to say unless you guys participate or ask questions or comment. I can talk about one thing that I had a great book sale on eBay. And yesterday I was talking about more rare books. This is a rare book. It's not an old book, but it is a rare book because there were only 10,000 copies made. It even says that in the inside of the book. So this is a book that I found at a library book sale back in February, and this is the same book sale where I found that book that I shared with you guys, that cool looking Thomas Bulfinch book, the Reality of Myths, I believe it's called, I think it was from 1913. That had a really cool spine and cover. And ended up selling that on eBay, taking an offer for $82. I got it for $1. This is a book that I also got for $1, and I listed it back in February, so it sat without any interest for a while. But then I did get someone who was interested. This is actually an international buyer in another country, and they made me an offer, and I took it because this book does not sell that often, but it does sell enough to where you can get some good money for it. And actually, the good thing about this copy is that it's actually signed by everybody, versus some people don't have one that is signed. So this page has all the signatures on it. There's 9 signatures, including the people that put the book together, which made it more valuable. Book usually goes for over $100, but anywhere between $100 to $200, depending probably on the condition more than anything. So this is the book. It's Steve McQueen, 40 Summers Ago, Hollywood Behind the Iron Curtain, with the 1964 ISDT US team. So there was a group of guys who rode in this race, including Steve McQueen, the famous actor who loved to do this kind of stuff. And there's a movie about it. I actually sold a DVD about this as well. It's a really cool book. It's got all kinds of photos and whatnot. But as you can see here, like a cover of Steve McQueen with some of the guys who rode back in the 60s. And the inside here, it says First edition, 10,000 copies, August 2004. So it's not an old book, but it is rare because there were only 10,000 copies made. If you look on eBay, there's not very many copies for sale. So it's a book that when somebody gets it, they hang on to it, and there's just not going to be very many floating around. Um, yeah, so it's got some cool photos and also it's in English, but then it's also another language as well. I believe it's Chinese that it's in. So I mean, look, it's got like goggles, boots, the actual photos of them actually riding around. Steve McQueen riding around. So yeah, the fact that I had the signatures is really cool. My assumption is the person that's buying this is going to hang on to it, um, and keep it, as their collection or whatever they have. And then it's got this big poster of McQueen. So I had it listed for $299, and it's been up there for a little while. And I took an offer of $250. So this is one of my better eBay book sales that I've had. And again, it's a book that was what do you call it? That was at a library sale that everybody else passed on. And it's not like it was hiding in the corner, um, you know, I don't know, underneath the table and underneath a bunch of other books, and you had to dig it out. It was on top of one of the tables with all the rest of the books, spine up, easily visible. When I saw it, I immediately was attracted to it and thought I saw Steve McQueen. I saw how big it was. It was a coffee table type book. It looked unique. So I immediately thought, this is probably worth the money. And then when I looked it up on eBay and saw the prices, I was like, whoa. And I looked around. I immediately looked around and was like looking at other resellers, like, how do you guys miss this? And so I definitely dropped that in my bag and ended up buying it. So that's going to be, what is that? Like $330 worth of eBay sales just between those two books, that one and the other Bullfinch book. Um, from that library sale. So when you go to library sales or anywhere really, but let's say especially library sales and there's 10 other resellers, don't even worry about it. You should definitely be methodical, go through every single book, look up the ones that don't have barcodes, and you never know what you'll find. Pat says, good morning, Pat says, I picked up 800 CDs for free last week. Guy was so happy that someone wanted them. Absolutely. Same thing for CDs, other types of media. People will thank you for helping them get rid of stuff. Absolutely. Michael says, have you found that the donation pickups have slowed up compared to last week? Well, I just started running the ad recently, so I'll see, because I didn't realize that the ad had stopped for a few days. And when I went back in there to start the new ad for my sale, my warehouse sale. So I had to actually contact Facebook and figure out how to turn it on, and I ended up figuring it out. But I think it was off for a few days, so it's hard for me to say. I will see after this weekend into next week if I'm getting a good response. So I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. Always cool to find the Steve McQueen book. You'll definitely find that in some celebrity coffee table books that they are autographed. I always check the inside. The bookseller sometimes misses it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes those signatures in some books will make it way more valuable. I mean, the most valuable book that I've sold so far on eBay was a Tom. I think it's Tom McColl. What was his name? I always forget his name. But anyway, I sold a book of his uh, McCurdy, something like that. From I think the book was from like the 60s or 50s. It was a first edition. It was in excellent condition and it had his signature, which was super rare. And I ended up selling it for like 350 on eBay. And that's a book I pulled out of a Gaylord. So yeah, so you never know where you'll find these things. But yeah, I was super happy with that. I mean, it all when I first started reselling books, I just did Amazon. I didn't know. I mean, you try to go for the fast, quick buck. You try to you don't know the big picture. So you walk into a library book sale as an example. Thrift stores are different. There's for me anyway. There's typically not other resellers there, but when you walk into a library book sale where there are predominantly books, because it is a book sale, you get overwhelmed at the amount of books and the competition, the so-called competition. And most of those people, I tell you, 80-90% of those people are just, they don't want to spend much time. They just want to scan as quickly as possible, grab what they think are the only higher profit books, and then run out of there to another sale, or I don't know where they're going. And so if you really want to pull out as much money as possible, you need to do non-barcoded books, um, books that don't have ISBNs, or you have to type them in, or you have to manually type in the title, or you can use the whole Amazon cover lookup thing. There's different ways to go about it, but there's going to be a lot of books that you're going to be able to make money off of that others will miss because they just don't want to bother. They don't want to take the time. They're not willing to put forth the effort. Or they're maybe in a stage where they're new and they don't realize that those kind of books can be worth money, or even how to go about looking them up. So they're so focused on the barcodes. And you can make money still, of course, just scanning with barcoded books, but you can do much better. And it's always better to diversify and learn more about different types of books, that's for sure. Just sold a Gone with the Wind DVD for $30 in minutes, Manny says. Yeah, looks like Gone with the Wind could become pretty popular. DVD, I'm sure some of the books as well are going to become popular or valuable as well. Let's see. Let's see well, these are not, I don't know if this is common or not, but here's eBay right now. So Gone with the Wind. This is antiquarian and collectible. So these are older ones. A $75 one here. This one's not worth as much. Those few here. This one though, 65. But look at the dates. These are all sold today, right? Today's the 13th. Yeah. It's 7:30 a.m. here. So East Coast, 10:30 a.m. And look how many have sold so far just today. $51, $49. Took an offer for $225. I mean, look at these. They're flying off the shelves. So I can't compare this to 2 weeks ago. Although we could look back and see. So the 12th, $144. Look at that. So if you see any Gone with the Wind books out when you're out there, or DVDs, you're probably going to want to grab it. Look at this one, 1936 for $125 with no dust jacket, $150. $100. Gone with the Wind Anniversary Edition. Here's this other one. So if you find the 1936 edition, you can do really well. These are DVDs. I don't know why it's showing it in the book. 107. Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind 7/3 print. Look at this. This is June 12th. So this is just yesterday. Look at all of these copies that have sold. Look at this. Still June 12th. So this is all from Friday. Holy crap. Look at that. $25, $91, $40. Oh my gosh. A collector's plate for $6 plus shipping. Yep. Definitely hot right now. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I don't know if it was like this 2 weeks ago, for instance. Well, let's go back and see. June 11th. Wow. No, it's definitely changed. So let's see. Well, hold on. Oops, sorry. Where is it? There it is. Wow, look at this one for 50 bucks. 2009 2 disc set. Looks like that's the same one. So here's this copy as well, this Blu-ray. So yeah, definitely it's something to look out for. Um, Here, I will switch this back. So look out for Gone with the Wind. Michael says, I'm noticing a slowdown in donation pickups compared to last week, but I also saw the drive up donation lines at all the thrifts getting longer. Interesting to see how it plays out. Yeah, I think you have, like you're doing, position yourself as a unique opportunity for book donators to have their books picked up. There's a lot of people that, number one, are still don't want to go out in the world. They still want to stay at home because they're worried about the virus, rightly so. Either they're older or they're more sickly, or just they don't want to, right? They don't want to go out, and so they'd rather have you pick it up. And number two, there's just people either because of age or too busy or just unwilling to do it will prefer for you to pick up their books or other donations. So maybe I should change my ad. Well, I'm probably not going to do that right now, but but uh, but anyway, maybe I will. We'll see how my ad plays out. But to emphasize the picking up and saying, yeah, we will gladly accept drop offs, but we also have a pickup service where we are more than happy to come to your home or business and pick up your book and other media donations, so that you do not have to worry about driving anywhere and hauling books or heavy books around. So just maybe emphasize that, and that'll probably play well with a lot of people who don't want to, even though thrift stores are opening, who don't want to bother with that. Um, and there's just nothing you can do about the people that are willing to drive and drop off their books. Some people just get warm and fuzzy about donating to thrift stores. So what are you gonna do? Brenda says, Gone with the Wind has been in the news because current demonstrations of material to be banned. Yeah, right. That's exactly why. So anytime something potentially, someone dies, then their stuff can be worth money. Like when Kenny Rogers, died earlier this year, and I had a bunch of his CDs in my for my warehouse sale, but not many people were buying them. Honestly, where I live, I don't think there's that many country music connoisseurs. I mean, there probably are, there always are, but that nobody was really buying them. So I just put them all in a lot, put them on eBay, and ended up getting a lot of bids for them. Because he had passed away, and so it was in people's minds, and people were wanting his stuff. So if someone dies, if something gets banned or potentially can get banned, then absolutely the run up in sales will happen. I don't happen to have any Gone with the Wind DVDs or books at the moment, but you never know. I'm going to buy all of those books in storage, so several thousand books. So who knows? Maybe something will be in there. Um, so this will probably be happening for a while, considering especially how well known and popular Gone with the Wind is. I mean, it's an iconic book and movie in America, so it's not a surprise. It won't be a surprise if this continues for a while. Yeah, Kenny Rogers too. Yep, yep. I had like, I don't know, 20 or 15 or something, and it did well. That was a few months back. Unfortunately, I didn't have any more Kenny Rogers CDs, so I could only do the one lot. But that happens. So you as a reseller have to pay attention to that kind of stuff, whether you have CDs, or you have books, or other types of media. If someone unfortunately, if someone passes away and they're famous, entertainer, actor, singer, whatever it may be, or somehow tied into books that, I mean, also too, like authors, super famous authors. Imagine, you know, if Stephen King were to pass away. I mean, his books would. You could probably sell anything Stephen King, and consider how many books he's printed, how many copies of his are out there. You could still probably, you know, books would be flying off the shelves, especially on eBay and Amazon. Or James Patterson, people that are really prolific, really well known. I mean, anyway, there's a lot of authors you can come up with or think of that if they were to die now, their stuff would be, you know, flying off the shelf. So remember when Prince died, a lot of his CDs that are now not worth much went through the roof. I mean, he's an iconic singer and entertainer in the world, and so when he suddenly died very young, I mean, you know, in his 50s, his stuff was going through the roof. Aretha Franklin is another example. I remember her stuff went way up. So yeah, you gotta when those things happen, they're gonna happen, right? Famous people are gonna die, and when that happens, as a reseller, you know, you got to take advantage of it, and people want their stuff, so you might as well jump on it. Michael says Kenny Rogers' memoir book is higher in price too. Saw two of them at different thrifts recently. Easy flips. Good to always know about trends, newsworthy items, and news as it will affect prices. Yep, absolutely. And this is the Gone with the Wind is a perfect example. Let me see. I'm looking up something else to see if it's actually. Oh, I don't know if that's true. But anyway, um, yeah, Kenny Rogers' memoir. Let's look that up on eBay and see what's happening with that. Kenny Rogers' memoir. Oh yeah, so it's called Luck or Something Like It. There's only a few on eBay. Yeah. Oh, what is that? Why is that so low? There's a few that are really priced low, but this is eBay. Well, eBay's not so great for it. uh, Manny says older Stephen King books without immediate value are something I would hang on to. Um, yeah, you could probably make a lot of those. Um, yeah, definitely. I mean, Stephen King. Fiction. Wow, he's an antiquarian. Look at. Yeah, Amazon is much higher. Oh yeah, typically for sure. Always go with the marketplace that is doing better. Here's some Stephen King under antiquarian and collectible. So collectible, not necessarily that old, but here's signed Stephen King. So signed. First edition, first printing, 1998, Bag of Bones. So if you can get that first, you can do well, and especially if it's signed. That's the triple threat. The first edition, however, first printing, and it's signed. This one here, The Gunslinger, 1982, second edition hardcover. So it's a second edition, and it's not signed, and it still went for $350. Woo! Look at this one. New. They say it's a new. Stephen King, 11/22/63, signed. First edition. Tray cased. Provenance. Oh, COA. Provenance. Rare. Took an offer from $8.99. Wow. That's nice. Cavalier magazine from 1972. Okay. That's unique. Stephen King, 1991. Misery. Well, some of these are lower. Let's see. Skeleton Crew, first printing. So it just depends. Some of these are not going for very much money. Christine, I think I've seen that one. I think I had the copy of that, but the dust cover was in really bad shape, and I don't believe it was a first edition. And even a first edition, $21. I mean, that's great. I would definitely sell it for that amount. But the one that I had, I mean, look, here's another one here, 1983. Oh, that's first edition. They should not have done a bid. They should have done a buy it now. They could have got more. What is this? What? Dolan's Cadillac? What is that? Oh, hardcover. Dolan's Cadillac. Oh, that's a weird picture though. Dolan's Cadillac. I've never heard of that. Huh. 450. Oh, limited hardback, 1 of 1,000. Okay. So look out for Dolan's Cadillac from Stephen King. It's a thin one. That's interesting. Um, well, 45 bucks. Gwendy's Magic Feather. Stand. Oh, look at this one. Stephen King, The Gunslinger, Dark Tower, first edition. Oh, dust. Wait, it's only the dust jacket? Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so they're literally just selling the dust jacket. Wow. So did they? That seems weird that they would just find a dust jacket. But I guess if you just find a dust jacket and it's valuable, then why not? I've never seen that before for that kind of money. Wizard and Glass by Stephen King, first edition novel. So yeah, he's definitely one to hang on to. Um, I mean, he will be so his books will be so a lot of his books will be so valuable when he does die. I think he's in his 70s now, um, and he's still writing. I mean, he just released another book recently. Very prolific. So definitely keep your eye on those kind of trends when it comes to any type of artist. You know, whether it's entertainment or whether it's an author, or like some people say, you know, when if someone becomes president, some of their stuff can be valuable. That's another reason that something would go up in value. So there are certain things that happen that make their stuff more valuable for sure. I see we have some more people here. 95% of the value is an older book. In an older book, is in the dust jacket. People will buy a pristine dust jacket to replace a tattered one. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I just never. I mean, that's the first time I've seen a dust jacket for sale. Well, yeah, I just never looked up a dust jacket. And to think that it went for $71 is impressive. So, but it makes sense for someone that is collecting the book and maybe their dust jacket is that they have is no good and they want a nicer one. Or maybe they are anticipating buying the book and so they're going to buy the nice dust jacket and then buy the book at some point. I don't know. But that's what I like about eBay is the kind of random stuff that you can sell on there within media and that you can't sell on Amazon clearly and turn a profit on that. Yeah, so I see there's some people watching. Feel free to chat. Feel free to ask questions. That's what this stream is all about. Yeah. So I would definitely. I don't know, guys. I'm running out of things to talk about because we need you guys to participate here. Any questions you have about reselling? Here we go. Ray Khan biography always sells fast. He's the guy whose playbook Trump follows and is quoted often in the news. Roy Khan. Oh, whoops. Only one of his books has sold on eBay. Yeah. Yeah. There's just so many. There's like endless amounts of of different types of stuff that could sell well based upon what's happening in the news. I mean, I saw a lot of articles on when I looked up book selling on the Google News domain or site. subdomain, and it showed a ton of results about Amazon. That a lot of books that were going to the top of Amazon booksellers were books about racism or anti-racism that people started buying up the last couple of weeks. Uh, I'm sure that played out on eBay as well. Um, let's see. Although I'm sure a lot of these books are not going to go for very much money on eBay, but yeah, no, these are not going to go for very much money. But the trends, the news, what's going on in the news or the trends or whatever, or going on with celebrities or politicians or general things in the news, it can affect um, positively, usually for us, sales and open up new opportunities. That's for sure. So yeah, I mean, just generally speaking, we should pay attention to. Good question, Manny. Who in here is going sourcing regularly? I will put it up on the screen. Anybody? Anybody? Feel free to chime in. Are you guys going? Are things opening in your locations or your regions, your cities, your nearby cities? Are thrift stores opening? Have they opened? What else? Are there? Oh, I should check. Are there estate sales or garage sales happening? I'm gonna check the app here that I use called Garage Sales by Map. Let me see if there's any sales. There are some. You can't see that. There, here, I will show you though. On my screen. Oh, sorry, 1 second. So I can show you my screen. So the little blue dot here is where I am, and then there's all the little red ones are garage sales. So a good amount. Let's see. So here's one. Garage sale, collectibles, furniture, garden clothing, kitchenware, sports, outdoor furniture, vintage eclectic items. Come see it. What? Come see it to believe it. And also what I do, just as a side note, is you flip through the photos if they have any and see if you spot any books or other media. Oops. Oh, I see a few books, but not really. They've got furniture. Oh my gosh. You see though? So look, there's a photo, right? You see in the way in the back? See that bookshelf? There's books. That's the thing, you never know, right? It's a garage sale, so they're probably going to be super cheap. Um, you don't know. It could be total crap. It could be great stuff sitting on that shelf. You just don't know. Let's see. So that's one. Construction stuff. I don't want that. You know what we should check? I'll check. Whoops. Pat says, not me, just the odd sourcing through local apps. Normally, I spend all summer filling my garage from bulk buying at garage sales. Need to change it up this year. Yeah, I'm sure it will pick up though. I'm sure it will. Um, Ira asked, how can I get approved to sell DVDs, CDs, any media on Amazon? I'm assuming, of course, because you don't need approval on eBay. You need to get invoices from a manufacturer. Manny knows a little bit more about that than I do. I believe there is a company that'll you have to buy from, but the thing is, you usually have to spend a good amount of money with them, uh, and then they will give you invoices, and you can submit those to Amazon. And I believe that's how people get approved. But I think you have to spend like $1,000 or something, um, and that's unfortunate. But Michael's starting to hit thrifts. Whoa. And estate sales. Interestingly, seeing library sale regulars at these places too. Garage sales in affluent areas can be gems, especially if they say books. Yeah, with no photos. Absolutely. Let's see here. Let me go to estate say whoopsie sales.net, I believe is what it is. Here we go. So, if you want to find estate sales in your area, this is the one that I use, what a lot of people use. Um, and there are 5 results within, oh boy, I can't see this. Well, I put 15 miles. So normally there's like 20, especially this time of year. So up to 50% off estate sale, full of treasures. Let's see what kind of treasures they have. Oh, this is a little far for me, but ooh, treasures. Look at this. Hang on one second. All right. Well, these are like, if you're into older stuff, old cameras, if you know that niche, which I don't. Oh, books, 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 books. So look at these old kids' books, and there's records. So look. Those probably aren't worth money individually, but one never knows. How do I flip through the... Okay. There's more. And there's even those, which are old. And they're displaying them because they're old, I'm sure is why. And then, so what you could do is, what I could do, although I'm probably not going to go to a sale today. I probably can't drag my wife to that. But, is you could go and be like, oh, I see you have kids' books. I'll buy all of them off of you. You know, what will you take? Or you could say, will you take $10 for all the kids' books, or, you know, whatever. Make a deal. Because when you walk into an estate sale, garage sale, guess what? They want to get rid of everything. So they're willing to deal with you. Some people are ridiculous and they'll want too much money. No, I want $20 for the kids' books. Well, never mind then. Here's some records. It looks like Harry Belafonte, I think. And look at those. Look at down here. There's old books down here. Could be absolutely nothing. Could be absolutely something. Who knows? This is one that I would go to. For sure. Ooh, do you want a fur coat? Some figurines? Plates? Looks like that's about all. So the great thing about this site is there's lots of photos. Grandfather clock. You could probably flip that sucker locally. Wow, I'm going dizzy. That's a lot. A lot. I don't know what those books are. There's some more books, and there's some more. What are those? Oh, Reader's Digest. Those probably aren't worth much money, but it looks like they might. Well, no. Yeah. But I just sold on eBay probably a week or so ago. I just sold 10 of these Reader's Digest condensed books for $11 plus shipping. And I had, one of them had the spine that had completely come off, and I took pictures of it. And one of them had the spine that was partly coming off, had come unglued. And people buy these, and they were from the late 50s to the early 60s. So I didn't get much money for them, but they were inside of a free book pickup. So I just threw them up there, and they sold pretty quickly. People like them as decorative pieces. Holy, whoa, what is happening here? Man, this is a hoarder here. Oh, I thought that was maybe books, but I guess not. Man, this place is packed with stuff. Anyway, I think someone had a question real quick, and then I'll go back to that. I have a... Oh, I'm setting up my shipping template. I find it. Oof. Ira asking about her shipping template. I don't really know specifically. I mean, I would call Amazon and walk through that. Yeah, I set it up a long time ago. I don't really remember the details of it, but if you have a struggle with that, I would probably call Amazon. Okay, this is, what did they say? This is furniture galore, vintage collectible toys. By the way, look at this. Almost 4 shelf bookcase and various books and decor sold separately. Okay, what? These are older books. probably not going to be scanning too many of these. You're probably going to have to look them up. Again, this is where it helps to have an eye for books and to know which one of these would be worth your time. But if you spent, I don't know how much time, but if you spent some time looking through every single book, I'm sure you could find something that was worth money. Another thing you can do, and this all depends on how much they're valuing these books, but I know that if this is being run by a estate sale company, they want to get rid of books. Books are the hardest thing for them to get rid of. So if you walk in and say, I'll take how much for all the books on that bookshelf there, or the whole bookcase, maybe they'll be like, just take them, just give me $20, and is $20 worth it for you? I don't know. That depends on how you want to go about it, right? Do you want to just get them all and then see how you can make money off of them, or do you want to cherry pick? If you don't want to take them all, then don't bother with that. But it's a good way to just grab them all and get out of there. It's a flash fire moving sale. Oh, look at the old recording equipment. Reel to reel. I don't know anything about that, but I'm sure there's money in that. They got a lot of paintings. Old typewriter. No idea. Well, jewelry and tools at this place. Wow, that is a lot of stuff. So we have peeking here. We've got some records, and over here I see books. So I would definitely check that out. At any rate, Michael, the nice thing is to plan out a good route where if you lump the garage sale, estate sales you want to hit with nearby thrift stores, you will likely find a few winners in the bunch. Yeah, absolutely. I highly recommend utilizing your time the best as you can. And sorry, my light. And if you're going to so when things really start ramping up, probably, I know here, every place is different. Every state is different, every city. But I know here where I am in California, things are really opening. Thrift stores have been open for about a week to 2 weeks. But just in general, I know my wife went into work yesterday. It's about a, 15, 16 mile drive or so one way. And she had to sit in traffic. And she was, she left to like normal time that she leaves, a little after 8 o'clock or something. And she had like 40 minutes of traffic. So that was the typical usual traffic amount. So people are definitely going back to work, pouring into work, which means a lot of things are reopening. And just by looking at the fact that there's 5 estate sales and there's some garage sales around where I live, not a ton of garage sales. This is very abnormal. Normally there would be like a dozen at this time of the year. This would be the prime time for garage sales. But it is slowly going to open, and I'm sure more and more people will start doing estate sales and garage sales. I don't know about library book sales, but probably estate sales and garage sales will start happening. So it's a good idea to go on an app or go on the website and plan out to hit a bunch of different ones so that you can make sure that it's worth your time. And you can walk away with some good stuff for sure. If you're going to go to estate sales and garage sales, you should do well. If you go to 10 estate sales and garage sales mixed in together, you should find a lot of books. You should be willing to make offers. Like I said, if you have the room in your car, and they have CDs, especially. CDs are great, where you can walk in and say, they have 100 CDs, say, oh, how much for all the CDs, and see what kind of deal you can make. If it's a garage sale, you can do even better because they just want to. They have a box of CDs. Be like, I'll take all of them. $10. I don't know, whatever makes sense for you. Excuse me. Wow, it's probably a good idea to make those deals. But yeah, take advantage of it for sure. I definitely miss estate sales. Estate sales, I think, are the best. Garage sales are great too, but estate sales can be the absolute best places to find really inexpensive, profitable media. I found great books. I found great CDs. I found VCRs to flip at estate sales. Buy them for $10, $20, sell them for $80. Online. So I think it's one of the best places for media are estate sales and garage sales outside of library sales and thrift stores. But now that things are starting to open, it looks like it's getting slowly back to normal. And it'll be interesting with my ad to see over the weekend what kind of response I get for book donations. I will say that if by my sale, which is Friday or Saturday, if I haven't gotten at least 3 or 4 book donations, that I'll really consider pulling the ad. I mean, I get additional benefits from it because I'm growing my Facebook page, but and I'm only spending $5 a day. But if I'm not really getting too many donations, then it might be worth it for me to pull it off. I'm not sure. But the 2 ideal times to hit garage sales are the first 30 minutes and the last 30 minutes. Cherry pick early and bulk buy late. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yep. If you go, a lot of times estate sales will do like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that. And they'll do like last day, everything's half off or 70% off or whatever. So if you weren't able to go initially, and don't even assume that a lot of other resellers went to the estate sale looking for media, because a lot of times that no one has even gone. So you might be able to walk in there the last day of the sale towards the end and see a bunch of books or see a bunch of CDs or records or whatever, DVDs, and you might be able to buy all of them for a cheap amount just because hardly anybody has bought them. They've taken up space, especially books. Of course, you don't necessarily want to buy a ton of books if they're not the best for reselling, but it just depends on, it depends on how your process is and where you're selling them and how you're able to sell them and that type of thing. But for CDs, it might make sense just to buy all of them at once, or DVDs or anything like that that's smaller. You can just pick up really quickly for cheap. Yeah. So, yeah, Michael says, don't be afraid to edit your Facebook ad while it is running. Definitely mention free pickup in your ad. Yeah, I'll have to shoot another video to do that. But I'm thinking that maybe I should change the video to emphasize free pickups. So when I usually like to shoot it when I'm in the warehouse because I got all the books behind me. So I'll probably just shoot another one and just emphasize that. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. This has been day 41 Flippin' Live. I'm glad you guys showed up on a Saturday morning. It's awesome. I hope you guys are able to have a great Saturday, whether you're working or whether you're hanging out with the family. So let's get out of here.
Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live. We're gonna strive, we're here to learn and gonna earn.
All right.
Flippin' live.
So thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. I know you guys could be doing a lot of other things, but yeah, maybe emphasize contactless, no touch pickup available. It's true. No, that's a good point. That's a good point. Just leave it on your front porch, leave it in the front of your house, business, whatever, and I'll just pick it up. We don't even have to meet. We can talk from a distance. Yeah. No, that's a good point, Pat. So yeah, let me think about putting a different video together to emphasize that and see if that makes any difference. Thanks guys for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great Saturday. I don't know what I'm doing today, but anyway, I do have some book lots to list on eBay. I've been going through those. But thanks for watching, guys. And if you haven't seen it, I put out a new video. Was it yesterday? An edited video. So check that out if you haven't seen it yet. But I appreciate you guys showing up. Have a great day. Happy selling. Keep booking and stay safe, guys. So thanks for watching. Take care.